former Minister Nagendra picked up by the ED. In fact, Nagendra was being taken into the ED office from his residence. Let's go to that breaking news coming in right now, viewers. That is what we are learning of right now. Nagendra picked up by the ED. And remember, the ED has been searching over 20 premises linked to the accused suspects in the alleged scam in the state-run Maharshi Valmiki Scheduled Tribes Development Corporation, where funds up to 88 crores were allegedly embezzled. The premises linked to two ruling Congress MLAs, B Nagendra, who resigned as Minister for Scheduled Tribes Welfare. Let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us. Prajwal is joining us live right now. Prajwal, big update coming in. B Nagendra has been picked up by the ED. He's been, in fact, he's been picked up from his residence. His residence was searched by multiple investigation agencies. What is the latest coming in, Prajwal?
You know, at this point of time, Shivangi, we are in fact tracking Nagendra, who will be shortly reaching the Enforcement Directorate's office out here at Shantinagar in Bengaluru. And after 48 hours now, let's just pan across to these visuals as well. After 48 hours, we get to understand that Nagendra has finally been picked up by the Enforcement Directorate as well. But until now, and as of now, the arrest has not been confirmed too. So he's been only picked up, and he will further be interrogated in the office of the Enforcement Directorate is what we get to understand now. And this comes on the backdrop of both his personal assistant Harish as well as personal secretary Devendrappa, who were questioned in front of Nagendra for over 18 hours yesterday, were taken in late night by the officials as well. And finally now Nagendra has also been taken into is the latest information that we are getting in now. And he's mainly been taken in because of the sort of statements that has been mainly given by Harish, who is the personal assistant of Nagendra, and his role has also been mentioned by the SIT, Special Investigation Team, in the remand copy. Now we are getting to understand, Shivangi, that in a few minutes he's reached the ED, he's reached the Enforcement Directorate now. We are getting it now. We are just falling a bit back. He's reached the Enforcement Directorate now. Nagendra has finally reached the Enforcement Directorate. He's being taken into the premises of the Enforcement Directorate now, and there he will be even quizzed by the senior officials as well. We are also going ahead and seeing that the CBI is also raising the heat on the bank officials too. But so far there has been, there has been no sort of development on the side of the chairman of the Valmiki Development Corporation, because he is also a Congress MLA, Basangowda Daddal. He is still not being, he's still not being taken in. He was questioned. One of his other personal assistants were picked up, while Pampanna, who is said to be one of the masterminds and also a personal assistant of Basangowda Daddal, still remains at large. Now Nagendra was mainly being questioned about, was he a part of the deal which took place in a private hotel? Was rupees 25 lakhs handed in his presence from his PA Harish to the former MD of the corporation, Padmanabh? Thirdly, how did he come in contact with Satyanarayan Verma? And what is the role of Satyanarayan Verma in connection with this scam? Because he stated to be the kingpin and the mastermind who had gone ahead and converted the cash into gold as well, which was later seized from Hyderabad too. And therefore, all of these links also point out that there might be money doubling which might be involved, and also the role of Hawala operators is coming out quite clear in the Special Investigation Team's investigation. And based on these leads as well, the Enforcement Directorate went ahead, acted on it, and finally now have picked up Nagendra. So will they only question him, or will he be arrested? That's the question which we will get to know shortly from now.
Well, Prajwal, you see the ED is a third agency which has entered this investigation. So we have the SIT, the CBI, both of them have been investigating this case. Now the ED. Take us through, what this entire scam is all about. This is about illegal transfer of money from the corporation to various accounts. We see that even the Union Bank of India has allegedly embezzled funds amounting to 88 crores. So a lot of officials of Union Bank of India are also under the radar.
Absolutely, Shivangi. On the 26th of May in 2024, employee by the name of Chandrasekhar working with the Valmiki Development Corporation went ahead, committed suicide at his residence in Shimoga at Vinoba Nagar. And he had written a 6-page death note blaming the managing director, the accounts director and a few bank officials, alleging that there has been a massive scam and they were trying to go ahead and blame him. And as he was an honest person, he had no other choice but to only commit suicide. After that, there was an FIR which was filed by the Karnataka police, but surprisingly, none of these bank employees were mentioned, none of these employees of the corporation was mentioned, but only 6 bank employees were mentioned, and an FIR was registered there against the branch head, Suchismita, against the deputy branch head Deepa, and Krishnamurthy, who was also the accounts manager, Naveen, who is the MD and the CEO of the Union Bank of India, and Rudra, who was also working as an executive director. So against all these people, an FIR was also registered, and later the Union Bank of India also lodges a complaint with the CBI under the IPC, then IPC section 154, and also they were booked under IPC sections 120B and section 420 for criminal conspiracy and cheating as well. And the Central Bureau of Investigation takes over the investigation, but only with respect to the bank. And meanwhile, a special investigation team was formed here in Karnataka by the government, and later they got to know that 89 crores was taken out from the account of the Valmiki Development Corporation and was transferred to a private bank in Hyderabad's Jubilee Hills called as the RBL Bank. And after that, the money from the RBL Bank was transferred to the bank called as First Credit Cooperative Society, and from there the money was transferred to hundreds and hundreds of Benami accounts. Later, during the course of investigation, it was known that Satyanarayan Verma had gone ahead, collected all these money which had been sent to these Benami accounts and had converted into gold, and he had also gone ahead and tried to give it as a kickback, Shivangi.
Right. So we are seeing that even officials of the Union Bank of India are on the radar. Union Bank of India, in its complaint to the CBI, has said a lot of money has been embezzled. Let's talk about some of the other, allegations. There are also allegations against some of the MLAs. One MLA, Daddal, remains under house arrest. How many more MLAs and how many more ministers are being investigated right now?
Shivangi, Daddal is not under house arrest. He's not been arrested, or he's not under house arrest. The ED has left from the premises of Basangauda Daddal after completing investigation for over 37 hours. So they have left Basangauda Daddal, who is at his residence in Yelahanka. He's still not been picked up by the Enforcement Directorate, but only one of his personal assistants were picked up by the Enforcement Directorate and was brought to the office late.
Our viewers, getting you some visuals coming in where we see Republic trying to confront B Nagendra as he's being taken to the ED office from his residence. So those are the exclusive visuals coming in. Exclusive visuals are showing B Nagendra being confronted by Republic. I don't want to go across to Prajwal. Prajwal, what are we seeing on our screen? So we see that B Nagendra is being confronted by our teams. Has he said anything to them? Could you translate for us?
Shivangi, what we get to understand from that is that reporters are going ahead and questioning whether he has been arrested or not. He only says, "Let me leave." That's all. That's his only response. He says, "Let me leave." So that is the sort of response that has been coming in from Nagendra at this point of time. So he just asked them, let me leave, let me pass by as well. So why has he been picked up was one of the major questions, to which 3 points highlight clearly as to why is Nagendra being needed by the Enforcement Directorate. First and foremost, on the 23rd of December in 2023, there was a private meeting which was conducted at a hotel in Bengaluru, a very prominent hotel, where the key accused of the scam meet together. Nekkanti Nagraj, Satyanarayan Verma, who stated to be the broker where money was being transferred to him, and the personal assistant of the minister, Harish, as well, on whose instructions the money was allegedly being transferred from the account of the Valmiki Development Corporation to the Union Bank of India, and from there to a private bank as well. So did Harish have the permission or the instructions from the former minister to transfer the funds? And did Nekkanti Nagraj pressurize Nagendra into this particular scam, or did he go ahead and speak to it? And what is the role of the brother-in-law of the former minister Nagendra over here, and is he also involved in this particular scam? These are the three main questions which Nagendra will have to go ahead and answer to the Enforcement Directorate, because he had not gone on to speak to this. And also there are a lot of documents which has been picked up from the residence of Nagendra pertaining to the cash that has been given as well. So therefore he will be questioned about where the money had been embezzled to, and how did the money, how was the money routed, and how was it got back through one particular same source as well.
Right. So those visuals coming in of B Nagendra at the ED office, Prajwal, and we also have our sister channel, Republic Kannada. We have Republic Kannada's reporters on the ground covering that story. Let's take our viewers through, the entire case once again, Prajwal. We know that B Nagendra's PA was also taken to the ED office in Bengaluru for questioning. Has there been any kind of revelation from the questioning which has been done by the investigation agencies in the past few days now?
Shivangi, we get to understand that the Enforcement Directorate had clearly gone ahead and questioned the receiving of rupees 25 lakhs from Harish from an unknown person, and then again going ahead and giving it to the former MD Padmanabh and Parshuram. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate 2 weeks ago had also gone ahead and questioned 3 of the accused, Padmanabh, Parshuram as well as Satyanarayan Verma, inside the premises of the Parappana Agrahara jail in Bengaluru, and they had collected a lot of information, and the raids were basically conducted on the sort of information that was given by Satyanarayan Verma, who is stated to be a key player in this entire scam, and therefore 20 locations were also raided, and also the connection of the Hawala network was also known through his interrogation by the Enforcement Directorate. But as he was in the custody of the Special Investigation Team, he could not be taken in by the Enforcement Directorate, as he could have gone ahead and revealed more information. At which point of time it is now being learned from the sources stating that Satyanarayan Verma had gone on to reveal the name of Harish, who is the PA of Nagendra, stating that he was the one who initiated the entire fund transfer as well. And also because of the fact that the Union Bank of India too had gone ahead and mentioned in their complaint to the CBI that the seal, the sign and the documents were completely forged when the bank accounts and the branch of the Valmiki Development Corporation was shifted from Vasant Nagar to MG Road. That is when the Enforcement Directorate went ahead and acted on it. And not only that, we are also seeing the Central Bureau of Investigation also sealing the house of the Deputy Branch Manager of the Union Bank of India. Now she is a former Deputy Branch Manager by the name of Deepa. So even her house was also sealed as well by the CBI 2 days ago. So the Enforcement Directorate is still going ahead and putting on heat on Nagendra too, and therefore he was picked up because his personal assistant was allegedly directly involved, according to the statement which was taken in from Satyanarayan Verma, who was the kingpin. And this was one of the main reasons that he was grilled for the past 48 hours, and finally now he's been picked up by the Enforcement Directorate.
All right, former Minister B Nagendra has now been picked up by the ED from his residence. And Prajwal, thank you for getting those details coming in. He will next be quizzed by the ED, and we'll keep a very close eye on this story. This is the Karnataka Treasury loot case. Investigation is on in full swing. Let's move ahead to some of the other stories we're tracking.